There's a peculiar silence that can settle inside us, one that's rarely discussed in conversation or stories. Imagine waking up one day to find your inner world hushed, not stormy or shattered, just blank, as if someone muted all the colors and sounds within you. It's not drama, it's absence, an emotional silence that feels almost unnatural against the chatter of everyday living. While people often talk about joy, sorrow, anger, or hope, very few explore the hollow spaces where feelings disappear, where motivation, excitement, and even pain seem distant and indistinct. What if that emptiness wasn't a flaw, but a deeply intricate defense, crafted by the mind to outlast storms it can't bear to face? Today, let's journey into the hidden world of emotional numbness, unpacking its roots, exploring its manifestations, and uncovering the science and humanity behind those moments when you feel nothing at all. Emotional numbness, often misunderstood, is not a failure of character or a sign of apathy. It's a sophisticated mental adaptation. Rather than a lack of care, it is the mind's effort to build distance from overwhelming or persistent emotions. In essence, apathy means not caring. Emotional numbness means wanting to care, but finding that ability muted or inaccessible. This distinction is crucial and can significantly impact how someone interprets their own experiences and the healing process. Behind the scenes, numbness acts as insulation, not emptiness. It's the mind's survival strategy, one developed through years of adapting to repeated stresses, disappointments, or environments where expressing emotion felt unsafe or futile. Sometimes it shows as sitting for hours without reaction, sometimes as forced laughter or an inability to remember what joy, sorrow, or excitement even felt like. Recent psychological research emphasizes that numbness isn't a personality trait, nor a permanent state. Instead, it's a dynamic process, often temporary, but always communicating something important about a person's mental environment. To understand numbness is to appreciate the intricate interplay between the human brain and body. Chronic stress triggers the release of cortisol, which over time recalibrates the brain's reward circuitry and emotional centers, including areas like the prefrontal cortex and amygdala. This adjustment can help flatten emotional highs and lows, leading to what clinicians call emotional blunting, where both the pleasant and the painful become less intense. Neuroscience reveals how frequent surges of stress or trauma may cause the brain to suppress emotion as a protective reflex. Think of how the body shuts down pain receptors during intense injury. Likewise, the mind dials down emotional volume to help you function in overwhelming circumstances. Sometimes, medication side effects, especially antidepressants, can amplify this effect. Substances like alcohol and recreational drugs, often used to self-medicate, create another layer, dulling the mind's response not only to distress, but also to potential joy. Understanding these neurological and hormonal pathways shifts the blame off the individual. Emotional numbness is not a sign of laziness, weakness, or a character flaw. It is a testament to the brain's adaptability, even if its strategies are sometimes costly in daily life. Numbness frequently originates in early life, but can be triggered at any age by overwhelming stress, trauma, or chronic emotional challenges. One of the most common contributors is emotional overload. When someone experiences too many feelings too fast, without adequate time or space to process them, the mind begins to shut down as a protective measure. This often goes hand in hand with repeated disappointments or letdowns. These don't always appear dramatic, sometimes they're subtle, building quietly over the years until the emotional system decides it's safer to feel less. Early environments also play a critical role. Children raised in households where emotions were punished, ignored, or trivialized often learn that safety means silence, both outward and inward. In these settings, expressing sadness, anger, or even joy could lead to rejection or misunderstanding. So the child adapts by muting their inner world. This pattern, once learned, doesn't simply vanish in adulthood. It becomes a reflex, activated whenever life feels uncertain or unsafe. Persistent responsibilities also contribute significantly. Being the strong one, the problem solver, or the mediator for too long drains emotional reserves. When someone is always expected to hold it together, their mind may eventually decide that numbness is the only sustainable option. Similarly, chronic stress, whether from difficult family dynamics, work expectations, financial strain, or societal upheaval, can gradually erode emotional responsiveness until nothing much registers anymore. It's also important to note that not all numbness comes from past pain. Monotony can be just as damaging. Endless routines with little variation or reward can lead the mind to disengage as a means of conserving energy. Modern pressures to always be productive and strong exacerbate these patterns, turning numbness into a silent epidemic that many experience but few discuss openly. Emotional numbness is not always visible. It wears many disguises in daily life. Overachievers may keep themselves perpetually busy, using productivity as a defense against inner silence. In contrast, some retreat from the world, avoiding new experiences or relationships that could reopen old wounds or trigger unfamiliar feelings. A unique paradox emerges. Individuals who appear strong and disciplined may be running from the vulnerability of emotion. On the outside, they exceed expectations. Internally, they may feel as though they're moving through life behind a pane of glass, disconnected not only from others but even from themselves. Others find themselves pulled toward dissociation, a subtle form of detachment where moments feel dreamlike or unreal. Life seems to happen at a distance, almost as if one is watching rather than participating. Research links this state to both trauma and chronic stress, finding that it helps some individuals survive emotional overload, but at the cost of real engagement and joy. Numbness can also affect relationships. The muted emotional response makes a genuine connection more difficult. Friends, partners, and family may misinterpret withdrawal or blandness as a lack of interest or even coldness, which can deepen feelings of isolation for the person affected. In reality, the desire to feel and connect is often present, just out of reach. While emotional numbness may be adaptive in the short term, helping someone survive overwhelming circumstances, it creates significant long-term obstacles. One of the most noticeable effects is a loss of motivation and spark. Activities that once brought joy, hobbies, social gatherings, creative pursuits, begin to feel flat and uninteresting. The excitement that once propelled someone forward fades into indifference. Another challenge is the inability to respond appropriately to life's ups and downs. Happiness, sadness, and anger all become muted, leaving the person stuck in a bland middle ground. This flattening of emotion can be particularly confusing during major life events. Celebrations that should feel joyful, yet instead evoke little more than a vague sense of detachment. Over time, this emotional disconnect increases the risk for more serious mental health concerns. Depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and substance abuse problems often emerge or worsen when numbness persists. Some individuals turn to external means, alcohol, drugs, or other risky behaviors, in an attempt to feel something, anything, again. These attempts rarely work and often compound the original problem. Relationships suffer as well. Loved ones may misinterpret numbness as rejection or indifference, which can lead to conflicts and misunderstandings. A partner might feel neglected, a friend might feel pushed away, or a family member might feel confused by the emotional distance. The person experiencing numbness often wants to connect, but simply can't access the warmth and responsiveness that once came naturally. Perhaps the most painful aspect is guilt. Many people experiencing numbness wonder why feeling nothing is so persistent and fear that it might be permanent. They blame themselves for being broken or defective, when in reality their emotional system is simply exhausted and in need of rest and restoration. These beliefs can exacerbate the disconnect, making people less likely to seek help or share their experiences with others who might understand. Self-awareness is a critical step toward understanding and overcoming numbness. One of the most effective approaches is to engage in regular self-reflection. Rather than waiting for emotions to return on their own, it helps to actively explore what's happening internally. Questions like, when did I first start feeling this way? Or what would make me feel safe to open up again? Can reveal patterns and triggers that might otherwise go unnoticed. Emotional check-ins are another valuable tool. Setting aside just a few moments each day to assess what you're feeling, even if the answer is not much, creates a habit of tuning into your inner world. Over time, this practice can make subtle shifts more noticeable. Perhaps one day there's a flicker of amusement, or a moment where music sounds slightly more vibrant than usual. These small changes matter. Journaling can also be surprisingly helpful, even when emotion feels absent. Writing about daily experiences, thoughts, or interactions creates a record that can be reviewed later. Patterns often emerge that aren't obvious in the moment. You might notice that numbness intensifies after certain types of interactions, or that it eases during quieter, more restful periods. For those seeking more structured guidance, validated scales and questionnaires exist to help differentiate between temporary adjustment and more significant issues. Mental health screeners can provide clarity about whether professional support is warranted. Additionally, seeking feedback from trusted friends or therapists can be invaluable. Others may notice changes in mood and behavior before you do, offering a perspective that's difficult to see from the inside. Recognizing the pattern is the crucial first step. Instead of criticizing yourself for the numbness, try reframing it as a signal, evidence that your emotional system is protecting itself under threat. This mindset lays the groundwork for compassion rather than guilt, which is essential for healing. The transition out of numbness is gradual and unique for every individual, but several strategies have strong research backing for facilitating recovery. Therapy stands as one of the most effective interventions. Modalities such as cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, help individuals identify and challenge thought patterns that perpetuate disconnection. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, known as EMDR, has proven especially helpful for those whose numbness stems from trauma. Somatic therapies, which focus on the body's role in storing and processing emotion, offer another powerful avenue for reconnecting mind and feeling. Mindfulness and grounding exercises encourage present moment awareness and body-based experience, softening the wall between thought and emotion. Even simple practices such as noticing physical sensations like temperature, pressure, or breath can serve as a first step back into feeling. These techniques don't force emotion to return, but instead create conditions where it's safe to emerge gradually. Lifestyle adjustments also play a significant role. Adequate sleep, regular physical activity, and a nutritious diet all support nervous system health, laying the groundwork for emotional well-being. When the body feels cared for and stable, the mind is more likely to relax its defenses. Exercise, in particular, has been shown to reduce stress hormones and increase endorphins, which can help thaw emotional numbness over time. Social support is vital, even though the impulse may be to withdraw. Intentionally connecting with trusted people, even in small doses, can help rebuild emotional capacity. This doesn't mean forcing yourself into large social gatherings or pretending to feel what you don't. It simply means allowing safe, gentle contact with others who understand and respect where you are. Creative expression through art, music, writing, or dance circumvents intellectual defenses, allowing feelings to re-emerge gently. Sometimes nonverbal outlets feel safer when emotions still seem threatening. Creating something, anything, without judgment or expectation can open pathways that logical thinking cannot. For some, medication plays an important role. If emotional numbness is linked to mental health disorders like depression or results from medication side effects, consulting a psychiatrist is essential. Adjustments can be made to find a balance that supports both stability and emotional responsiveness. The key to all these approaches is gentleness rather than pressure. Emotion returns when the mind perceives safety, and safety takes time to establish. This restoration usually begins with subtle signals from the body. Deeper breaths, improved sleep, slight changes in how beauty or pain is perceived around you. Over time, sparks of sensation grow. The taste of a good meal becomes more vivid. Music stirs something faint but real. The warmth of a friend's presence registers more deeply. Each step, however small, counts as progress. Prevention means cultivating habits that keep the emotional system flexible and resilient before numbness takes hold. One of the most important practices is setting emotional boundaries. Learning to say no and recognizing your capacity prevents overwhelm from accumulating over time. When you honor your limits, you send a message to your nervous system that it's safe to stay engaged rather than shutting down. Daily reflection also makes a significant difference. Briefly journaling or meditating, even for just 5 minutes, increases emotional awareness. This doesn't need to be complicated or time-consuming. Simply pausing to notice what you're feeling, or acknowledging when you're not feeling much at all, keeps you connected to your inner world. Where possible, limit exposure to chronic stressors. While not all stress can be eliminated, identifying which pressures are essential and which can be reduced or delegated helps protect emotional reserves. Seek out activities known to regulate mood, such as exercise, hobbies, and spending time with people who energize rather than drain you. Practice self-compassion consistently. Replace self-judgment with curiosity, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" Try asking, "What is my numbness protecting me from?" This shift in perspective opens the door to understanding rather than shame. Finally, monitor digital and social media use. Constant connectivity can overwhelm and blunt natural emotional responses. Taking regular breaks from screens allows space for genuine feelings to return. Taking small steps regularly safeguards against the slide into numbness and promotes lasting emotional well-being. Sometimes self-care isn't enough and professional help becomes necessary. Recognizing when to reach out can make all the difference in recovery. If numbness persists for weeks or months and begins affecting your ability to function at work, home, or in relationships, it's time to consider therapy. Similarly, if numbness co-occurs with depression, anxiety, substance use, or a history of trauma, professional guidance can provide support that's difficult to access alone. Perhaps most urgently if there's a sense of hopelessness or thoughts of self-harm, seeking help immediately is essential. Reaching out can feel daunting, particularly when emotions feel absent or blunted. You might worry that you won't be able to articulate what's wrong, or that a therapist will dismiss your experience as insignificant. In reality, skilled therapists work gently, pacing interventions carefully and focusing on creating safety first. You will not be pressured to feel before you're ready. The goal is to restore trust in your mind and emotions, enabling a gradual reconnection in a safe and measured way. Therapy for emotional numbness often begins with psychoeducation, helping you understand what's happening and why. From there, the work unfolds at your own pace, with the therapist serving as a guide rather than a director. Many people find that simply having someone witness their experience without judgment begins the thawing process, even before any specific techniques are applied. If you are living in numbness, know that your experience is not rare and it is not your fault. Emotional silence is evidence of endurance, not weakness. Feelings, yours, wait for the right environment to return, and recovery is possible no matter how long it has been. Numbness is not the end of feeling. It's a clever, temporary pause. Sometimes the first sign of emotional thaw is physical, a slight smile that feels genuine, a renewed appreciation for sunlight or music, a moment of laughter that surprises you. Celebrate these steps, invite gentleness into daily life, reduce self-pressure, savor simplicity, and let healing unfold at its own pace. You are not broken. Inside, beneath the stillness, your emotional life is waiting, ready to bloom when the world and you are ready again.